Hello and welcome again to the Sophie Scholl Society, where we talk philosophy, theology, history, and use those things to shape what we do politically, for that's exactly what Sophie and her associates did in the White Rose Society in Nazi Germany. They had a triangle of understanding about history, philosophy, and theology, which provided the foundation for what they did in going up against the Nazi regime in the 1930s. You see a triangle in front of me right now. A triangle of power. Let's put it this way. We're going to do political geometry today. Take a look at this triangle of power. Notice at the base of the triangle, people have a large portion of power. Then we see the state have another portion of power above it. And at the top of the triangle, there's a minor portion of power for the federal government. Now, when you think about Scripture, how is government looked at from the very beginning? Genesis. Government was very small. Very small. God just had one thing for them. Do not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Aside from that, they were free. They were totally free in that garden to do what their heart set upon themselves to partake in and desire. But when you get to the end of the Bible, you see a total flip. That is, government is huge by the time you get to Revelation. It is an onerous, suppressive, oppressive institution, especially upon Christians. The triangle. Think about our United States Constitution. Wasn't it set up to look like this? The power belongs in the hands of the people. Yes, the state has power as well, each of the 50 states, but the federal government is to have little power when it comes to domestic matters. But look at the triangle now. It's flipped. Look how much power the federal government has over the states. And not only that, look how much power the feds have over the people. The people's power is diminishing. In other words, the Fed is taking decisions from the people and making decisions for the people. Whereas originally, the power of making decisions was in the hands of the people. Like Dennis Prager, who is a conservative Jew, excellent communicator with respect to culture and politics, says the smaller government is, the bigger the citizen. But if you flip it, the bigger the government is, the smaller the person. So when you think of what kind of philosophy, political philosophy, situates power in the people, you would have to be a constitutionalist. That is, a constitutionalist that understands our document from the way it was first written and amended in the first 10 amendments, as well as amended in the 13th, 14th, and 15th amendments, giving liberty, of course, to those Americans of African descent. See, you would be a constitutionalist if you are for this triangle of power. You would be a classical liberal, like Thomas Jefferson was. You would be a paleo-conservative, that is, an old-school conservative, looking back to those constitutional principles which were instituted when the document was written. You would be, I would say, a libertarian as well, though there's differences of opinion, of course, with libertarians and paleo-conservatives and constitutionalists and classical liberals, but basically they fit in this category that you see here. The triangle of power belongs at the base where the people have most of it. Flip the triangle, and what do you got? Power at the top. Power which takes decisions from people and makes decisions for people. You would have to be a neoliberal, that is a new liberal. You would have to be a progressive. You'd have to be a socialist. You'd have to be a fascist. You'd have to be a communist. You'd have to be a, may I say it, a Muslim to go with this triangle. And you might say, Muslim, that's a religion, or that's a person who follows religion. No, Islam is more than a religion. It is a political institution as well. And when Islam utilizes its political arm, you'll see it manifest in Sharia law, where decisions are taken from you and decisions are made for you. You, as a citizen, are smaller as the government gets bigger. So do you see the triangle? If you want more power in the feds, less power in the people, you're going to be a progressive. You're going to be a neoliberal. You're going to be a socialist. You're going to be a communist. You might even be a Muslim. But if you want power at the base of the triangle to be in the people, you're going to be a constitutionalist. You're going to be a paleo-conservative, that is an old school conservative. You're going to be a libertarian, or you may be that classical liberal, the kind of liberal that Thomas Jefferson was. We need to understand the terms because we are living in a day and age where the triangle of power has flipped and people are getting used to it. What we need to do is restore the original triangle, right side up, not upside down. Right side up, you'll see power where it belongs, in the people. Thank you for joining me once again on the Sophie Scholl Society.